Sure. So everyone able to see my screen, right? It's clear, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So coming to the last class, we discussed about what is operating system. Okay. So we discussed about what is a Unix versus what is a Linux and some sort of architectural ways. And meanwhile, we handle installation of lab setup, how to install the lab setup. So by using VMware with Oracle Linux. So little bit we discussed about some basic commands how to use in Linux day to day. So today we are going to discuss about one of the basic component that is called booting process. Booting process of Linux operating system. OS is nothing but operating system. So what is a booting process? Leave it about everything. Okay, don't think that this is a Linux or Unix or whatever it may be. So basically we all are Windows users. We all are Windows users. So the concept of the Windows users. So whenever your operating system, for example, let it be my laptop rebooted. Otherwise, once I switch on power on button, once I switch on power on button, so what exactly going to be happen? So immediately you can able to see that some command line or BIOS. So if you people can just think of that, okay, everyone using the concept called desktop. So how many people are having the desktop? So most of them are practice, right? Maybe at the college time, otherwise, most of the times, everyone is a part of the desktop user. So in desktop, usually there is one type of the error we are going to see that. Right now, everyone is using the laptop. If we are the desktop user means, for example, the common error is that like a keyboard not deducted, press F1 or escape to proceed. So this is one of the error or one of the notification everyone can able to see that in the initial time. So how the operating system is know that your keyboard is not properly inserted or your keyboard is not properly not performing the action. So how it is going to be identified? So anyone, any idea? Any idea how it is going to be identified? So the thing is that your operating system having all information of your server. All the information means IO devices. So we are calling as input devices and we are calling as output devices. So input devices, output devices. So what are the input devices, output devices? Any idea? Anyone having? So have you or Nandini?
Mouse, keyboard, and all.
Any idea on that one?
Input device, right? Mouse, keyboard, right?
CPU.
So IO devices means, for example, your keyboard, your mouse, okay, your printer, okay, and is any other things. For example, any kind of devices. So these are the things are we are calling that IO devices. So these IO devices are basically act like a taking the input devices. Input devices takes the inputs from the user or devices. For example, what are the input devices? Like a keyboard and any pen, or these are the input devices. Output devices, output devices. So output devices are basically nothing but which can exhibit the information. For example, the output devices we are calling as like your monitor, printer. Okay, these are the output devices we are calling into the environment side. Okay. Okay. So till that everyone is clear, right? Input devices and output devices. Any doubts here? Anyone having any?
Clear, clear,
No,
clear, clear.
everything is clear.
Okay. So now the thing is that, so your operating system, whether your Windows operating system, your Linux operating system, keep the record of this information. For example, this will keep the record of your operating system information, each and everything. So in my system, how many input devices are there? How many output devices are there? Everything it will be keep the information of your operating system. So once your operating system is identified, that let it be in desktop, your operating system is identified that your keyboard is not detected. Automatically it will inform you that the keyboard is not detected. We need to be some sort of solution over there to sort out the issue. So that's the same thing. Every operating system, there is a one component called BIOS. So BIOS is nothing but boot, booting, input output devices state. So this device will holding off your information, nothing but whatever the your operating system is there, what are the IO devices are there, everything it will be the keep holding off information. Okay, for example, let it be in my desktop or in my laptop. Okay, I'm having, let it be 10 input devices are there, let it be 30 output devices are there. So these are the information it will going to be keep on. So once everything is fine, then your operating system will be going to be keep a note of that. Okay, these are the disks are it is attached, it is a scan. If anything I face the issue means, okay, I need to be move on. So these are the things it will going to be revalidate. So once the BIOS is completed, it will be move on to the, there is a, so in Windows once you power on the button, BIOS will come. After BIOS, okay, you will see that some sort of actions over there. What are the actions over there? Some graphical information or OS loading. OS loading phase will be come into the picture. So this OS loading picture is nothing but once your devices are there, then your operating system is loaded. Once your operating system is loaded, then your graphical user interface will appear. So at the last stage, the end user will come into the picture. end user will handle and interact with operating system. So this is the common phase which are using into the Windows environment. So this is the day-to-day activities. Whenever you are power on the button, these are the phases will be going to be moving on. Okay, but there is a kind of little bit of differences there into the Linux environment. So what is the basic difference when you coming to the Windows based and the Linux based operating system? So let me move on to the Linux based. So in the Linux based, so that the same procedure, whether it's a Windows or Linux, there is no major issues. So first we are going to power on the button. So once you power on the your operating system, automatically what it will going to be happen? So automatically it will going to be happen nothing but your BIOS will come into the picture. So the BIOS is operating nothing but input output devices phase. Here it will be holding your operating system full-fledged information, means what are the things are there, how it is holding, how many operating system input devices are there, how many output devices are there, everything it will be mounting. For example, let me showcase you practically. So this is my VMware software. I've opened my VMware. Once I click on the VMware, let me, for example, this is my operating system, one of the server. I'm planning to start the server. Once I start the server, if you can see that start the server, automatically there is a lot of the phases is going to be happen. It is selected some image, operating system image. So BIOS phase is completed. There is a 6 to 7 phases. It is happening into the fraction of seconds. Fraction of seconds, this many sessions will going to be happening. For example, if you can see that here, your operating system is loading. So let me, so automatically means the booting process completed. Automatically you are getting the graphical user. Let me restart the server, then you are able to see that BIOS phase. Have you seen this one? Okay. Nothing but this okay is nothing but your operating system is checking the whether the all the services are loaded properly or not. After that, your operating system is loading which version is supposed to be loaded. It is selecting, and after that it is giving the graphical interface of the user. So right now here also same thing. The BIOS is the prompting of, so the BIOS is a prompting of your operating system. So let me show some document. So coming to the Linux environment, we are having the 6 phases of the booting process are there. How many phases? It is a 6 phases of booting process. The first phase is that BIOS process integrity check. Nothing but it is a kind of toll gate type. Everything it will going to be validate. What are the input devices are there? What are the output devices are? Everything it will going to be validated. And the second stage is that MBR. So whenever your operating system is loaded, initially your hard disk and RAM not active. So for example, everyone is having the bikes, right? Bike, okay, or car, or whatever it may be, any kind of vehicles. So everyone using the self button, self start button or kicker. So why we are using these buttons? For example, you have a 220 capacity of bike, cc of bike, and why we are using these buttons like a self start and kicker? Any reason behind that? Why I need to use?
To start the combustion, to ignite the engine.
Okay, so you are trying to start the your environment, right? So means the self start or the kicker it is help you to spark the services, nothing but it is trying to push the services, right? So this is the same type of environment. So initially, whatever may be the capacity of your hardware, nothing but whether it's a 2 TB of terabyte, 10 TB of terabyte, whatever may be the terabyte, initially it is not active. So the same case with your bike and your car also. Let it be you brought a one bike, the capacity is that 220 cb of capacity, nothing but it's a very high end, but still you need a some kind of the pusher, whether by kicker or self start. The kicker and self start are very mild items, but it will start the your services to the make active. That's the same thing we are doing the mbr. MBR we are calling as master boot recorder. So the master boot recorder is like a so ROM, ROM. Anyone having the idea of ROM ROM? So if you studied your computer basics, RAM and ROM, two items will be there. What is the RAM and what is the ROM? What is the RAM and what is the?
Read only.
Any idea?
Random access read only.
Okay, RAM is basically the purpose of the RAM is that okay, it will help you to keep buffer data. It's nothing but something like a temporary data storage. But ROM is something like that, a same temporary data storage, but it won't keep any data with it. Means, for example, in general terminology, if you want to set that, you once you click on the power on button of self start, automatically it is generating the one kind of the spark. Once that spark is coming to the picture, your bike is started. Once your bike is started, after your bike is started also you will keep on pressing the power on button, self start or kicker? No, right? Because your service is already started and your self start is not holding off any kind of information. So that's the same type of the nature it is consisting of mbr. MBR concept is that okay, it act like a temporary RAM. So initially you don't have the any space, okay, you don't have your hard disk, you don't have your RAM. So that is the reason this temporary RAM act like a to bring up your services, to bring up the your environment. Once it is come into the picture, then we are moving to the next phase called grub. So in Windows also we are having the MBR. Okay, the terminology is the same into the Windows also. There is no much changes. So coming to the grub is the kind of nature. So let me go to the Windows. Windows, let it be my operating system version is 9.x. So Microsoft is a provider. So the Microsoft is provided the new version called 9.10 version. 9.10 version. So I'm going with the upgrade process, upgrade of operating system. Automatically I'm going to upgrade my laptop with new OS. So what is the new OS? It is 9.10 version. So being a end user means we are all are the end user. So what is the version right now in my laptop? Whether it's a 9 point, let it be 9.x means you can think of that it's a 9.1. 9.1 or 9.10. I upgraded my operating system. What is the current version in my laptop? 9.1,
110.
9.10. Any idea?
0.10.
Why? 9.10? What about the 9.1?
Because you have upgraded it now.
Okay. So you are saying that the current version is 9.10 means 9.1 is erased, right? Is that correct? Is that correct? So just think of that one example. Let it be you have a one startup. Let it be you have a one startup company. Okay. So your website is that, let it be www.hdfc.com. This is one of the website. Okay. You implemented into the server. So implemented into the server, which is called 9.1 version OS image. So you install the version. So after once you install the operating system, automatically what it will going to be happen. Okay, so let it be Microsoft come up with a new version 9.10. Okay, you accepted, you upgraded the operating system. Once you upgraded the operating system, automatically whatever the operating system is existed into the Linux, it is right now your application is running on 9.10 version. Is that clear? Your website is now running with a 9.10 version. That point is very clear, right? Any doubts? That's the same phenomenon whether you are using the Windows or Linux, whatever it may be. Current version is the latest version. For example, in your mobile, you have a 9.1 operating system update. So you got one update stating that upgrade to 9.10. Once you upgraded, you are rebooting your mobile. After some time, your version is now reflecting of 9.10 version. Here there is some kind of issue is there. Here kind of issue is there. Let it be you upgraded the operating system, means you upgraded the your application like a www.hdfc.com. Once you upgraded the your application, okay, www.hdfc.com, once you upgraded the your application into 9.10 from 9.1. So after upgrade, you are getting the application issues, means for example internet banking slow, or page is broken, or some kind of issues, means your website is not loading properly. Though it's loaded also, your page is getting the error messages. You are getting the lot of error messages automatically. Now what exactly you are going to be perform here? Once you are going to be sorting out, means now the application team or the client team came into the picture. They mentioned that, so hi server team, my server is right now running with a 9.10. So we are getting the production issues. We are calling as production issues. We are getting the production issues. Please revert the changes or move OS from 9.10 to 9.1. So is it possible? Is it possible in Windows immediately? Any idea? Is it possible in Windows?
Yes.
Okay, it's a possible. We are not saying no. But one thing is that we need to perform from scratch, right? Means you have to be perform from the scratch. Nothing but again you need to remove the entire 9.10. You need to keep the 9.1. right? That's the same thing we need to be performed from the scratch. So here we need a downtime of operating system. What is a downtime? Anyone having what is a downtime means your application or business will be down till issue resolved. So whenever you people are saying that on Saturday's time, on Sunday's time, your bankings, especially your HDFC Bank and ICICI Bank, sometimes you can see that we are seeing the one banner into the web page. The page is that we are having some maintenance activity from this time to this time. Please don't internet banking. Or in this time you will get a lot of issues. Some kind of awareness you will see into the web pages. So that is we are calling as a downtime. Downtime is a reflection of whenever you are performing any kind of activities, we are performing into the non-business hours. Non-business hours. So here, so that's the same type of the nature. Here, when I'm planning to revert from the 9.10 to 9.1, everything I need to be performed twice the nature. Everything I need to be performed twice the nature. This is the double work. Means Windows majorly supporting single operating system. There is no parallel OS mechanism. Means simply if you want to tell that there is a railway station. There is a railway station. If you can see that railway station, we will be having the number of platforms like a 1, 2, 3. Let it be first platform, it is already one train is there. Second platform, already there is another train also there. Now let it be whenever the new operating, so nothing but whenever you want to allow the new train, so they are going to allow which one is vacant, nothing but which one is available. So it is they are allocating third platform. So that the same thing means the concept is that here Windows we cannot hold off more than one operating system. But coming to the Linux is supporting minimum of 3 versions. 3 version means let it be 9.10, 9.10, let it be 9.1, okay, 9.2, 3 versions I am holding. I'm not deleting the old content. I'm keeping like that only. Let it be in our example 9.10 we got the issue. 9.10 we got the issue. Immediately what we are going to be perform, I am reboot the server. I'm rebooting the server. Once I reboot the server, I am immediately booting from instead of 9.10, 9.1 or 9.2 version. I am booting OS. Any one of the operating system, I am booting the operating system. That's the same thing. Means here we are not deploying or spending lot of time to rebuild. Just for the example, you can think that
So how do we change the version here? Like,
yeah. So how you do the change the version? For example, let it be. I will show you practically. Okay. Let me restart the operating system. Here you will see the 4 to 5 version. For example, if you can see that here, right now I'm having the 9.4 version. If you can see that in your production environment, you can see the number of lines here, like a 9.4, 8.4, like a 7.4, or whatever may be the number of 4 to 5 version. For example, right now my operating system is loading with a default 9.4. For example, 9.4 version I don't want to be proceed means, okay, next time what I will go, I am manually selecting like this. I'm manually selecting, let it be this is the my operating system. So your operating system is moving to the 7 point or 9.1 or 9.2, whatever the version. Means you are not spending the lot of time with the repairing and all. Simply, if you want to tell that, for example, you have a car, there is one of the tire is punctured. Immediately, what you are going to do it, you are using the spare part, right? Nothing but spare tire, and you are starting the journey. Whenever you have a time, for example, once your journey is completed, or whenever you feel the some space, on the moment of the time, you are going to be repair the your tire. That's the same kind of the nature we are also doing. For example, my application is hdfc.com. So that is a Monday. My application is down on Monday. So right now, the client is not interested to the yeah, tell me Nandi.
Sir, like those three versions are in production mode or how it is, sir? How we can consider
So I will tell you that. See, one is the active mode. Okay. For example, 9.10 is the current
current
and
version?
active mode.
Okay.
So nothing but 9.1 and 9.2 are we are calling as a passive mode.
Okay.
Simply like that, you are holding off your spare car. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Whenever it is required, we will active that version, right?
Yeah.
If the current one is
Whenever
not
you
working.
need, in the moment of the time you are trying to join into the particular thing. Okay. So that
Okay.
is the same kind of the nature you are going to be perform. For example,
It will not affect the operating system like the resources and all
nothing.
on the server.
Minimal changes will be there. See, you are having the Android, let it be you are having the 9.10 version, which is a better features. But earlier it was your application is run with a 9.8 version or 9 version, right? Okay, but little bit of the changes will be there. For example, your application might be little bit of slow. Okay, see, Monday time your website is down means how the situation will be. It's going to be hectic, right? So
Yes.
your customer will be angry. So what you are going to do it? You are saying that you are immediately booting your operating system into the old version. You are bringing up the application. Right now, maybe your website will be little bit of slow, but you are able to operate it. So that is the reason most of the times when you go into the banks, the people are saying that server is slow, server is something, this type of the information you will get it. That's the same set of the nature. So the major thing is that here we are avoiding immediate issues with a low risk capabilities. Low risk capabilities. Okay, so that is one of the major advantage of your operating system. So here your operating system is majorly it is supporting into the Linux side. This is one of the feature into the Linux, but this feature is in fact it is not existed into the Windows mechanism. Means by default in my production environment we are holding 6 versions every server, 6 versions. Just think of that 6 version means how it will be. Means right now we are having 10.0, but in production environment we are having 8.0. So 8.0 to like 8.7.9 or whatever maybe 6 version I am holding into the my environment. So that is one of the major advantages into the production environment. Okay. So it's clear. Any doubts?
Yeah, no doubts. I'm fine.
So other guys, Habib and Arun, any
Yeah, fine, sir. Fine, 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 fine.
you understand right? Little bit of understanding of Windows
Yeah,
will be there.
definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
So
Thanks.
So that is the same kind of nature. See, these are the things will segregate the futures of your Linux and your other operating system. So these are the things it will help you out into the both of the activities. So right now, okay, so whenever you are performing any kind of activity, so these are the things it will going to be support into the your environment. So once this is completed means immediately you are going to perform the rest of the action. So what is the rest of the thing? There is one more called grub. So grub is a kind of the toolkit. It is selecting which operating system you need to be taken. Once you selected, then your kernel is nothing but your operating system. Kernel is nothing but, so now you decided the path whether you want to go with a 10.0 or a 9.1 or 6.1, whatever the version. So this operating system it will going to be loaded. Once it is loaded, then init phase. Init phase is nothing but your phases of operating system. For example, so whenever the operating system is loaded, we are having the like a power on, power off, okay, multi-user, graphical user. These are the things we can identify with the this phases. This phases is nothing but it is a kind of scripts. It is existing into the server end. So this will help you out into support you into the okay into the real time picture. So these are the 1 minute. So in real time also these are the things it will going to be take up very important role. For example, you want to shut down your server, you want to perform any kind of your server. So what is the way we are using? We are using the graphical user. Instead of graphical user, we are using the indirectly it is comment the particular run level. This run levels are the futures. It will be help you out to connect the your server, execute the server, perform the server into like shutdown means shutdown, start means start, and perform the things. For example, Windows is a graphical user, right? So by default Windows is a graphical user, and Windows we are having the command line also, nothing but PowerShell. So since we are using the more familiar with the graphical, so people are thinking it is a graphical, but PowerShell is majorly used by the admin guys. At the same thing, Unix also we are having graphical user interface, command line interface. So the graphical user interface will be performed by the only set of users, not everyone. But command line is majorly using for everyone. So this is we are calling as mode 5. This is we are calling as mode 3. So mode 3 is nothing but a command line interface, means everything you can able to see that. For example, if you can see that this is the graphical user interface, means you are able to perform the all the type of operations, nothing but how your Windows laptop will be there. In the same way, okay, you are into the activity, nothing but you are able to perform the nothing but, for example, if you want to start the FireZilla, or if you want to see the any software, how your Windows operating system is using, everything you can able to perform. But command line is interface means everything you are going to get a command line only. You are not getting any kind of other activities into the production environment. So this is the way how we are going to perform the operating system. This is we are calling as
So
interfaces.
I have one question
Yeah, tell
here.
me.
So why we are prioritizing CLI over GUI here? Like,
The thing is
oh,
that CLI is basically come up with a security. For example, I want to shut down this server. Since it's a graphical user, I don't have any knowledge also. With the basic common sense, I'm going with the power, and I'm going with a restart, shutdown, right? For example, same thing if I want to shut down by command line. For example, this is the my command line. Now I need to shut down. Now someone is asked to shut down the server. Obviously, what is my level of action? I need to understand the command, right? Without command, can I shut down the server? Can I shut down?
No.
Okay. So if, for example, if I initiate to shut down, obviously what exactly it will showing, like some permissions and some kind of control is showing. Means the command line is the kind of the mode, it will help you to control the manual issues. So graphical user is nothing but with a simple, without knowledge also, common sense also, you can, for example, if you want to install any VLCC player, Windows, with a basic knowledge only, you are going with a double click, next, next. Same thing if you want to perform the same VLCC player into the here means you cannot perform the things that much of easily, right? So that is a major issue of your operating system, nothing but that is the reason people are using the command line. So right now I need a security is my priority right now in my bank. Okay, security is my priority. I don't want all the features of whatever your graphical user is providing. I need only security. Then in that case you are going with a command line interface. Is that clear? Any doubts?
Yeah, no, clear. So only the security is the
Security is a
issue
primary
here for
aspect,
the difference.
right? Say whenever the people are doing the any hacking and all, people are going with a graphical only most of the times, right? If we are browsing instead of Google, instead of some movie website, some YouTube, then only you will get issues, right? For example, in command line, whatever you can see the movie, you cannot see anything, right? Means first level of controlling I'm doing like a fencing mechanism. Okay, that's the same case here. Everything is nothing but it is a targeted. Once it is a completed means the last stage is that, okay, your run levels, nothing but we are having this run level is nothing but how your operating system is loading. That's the last step we are calling as a run levels. Means your operating system is ready to move, whether which one you selected, whether the 3 or 5. So if you can come across with once again, our booting process will be can be defined into the 6 phases. One is a BIOS, MBR, grub. BIOS is a nothing but it is a something like that in our apartment, one security guard type. So who are there in apartment, how many members are there, when they are going, when they are coming, everything they were noted down the things and all. Okay, MBR is nothing but it's something like the temporary RAM. So whenever you want to start your bike, okay, so this will help you to bring up the your application, bring up the your application into the real time. Nothing but you start your bike and start your engine. Grub is a nothing but it is a something like a toll gate or Y junction type. So it will be consisting of number of operating system versions. So by default, current version will be the latest version. You people can decide nothing but. So from the toll gate, you can directly select the any national highway. You can move on. But still, if you face any issues with the national highway, there is some accident happen. Immediately, what is the option you will go? You are checking for the some parallel mechanism to reach out to the your destination, like a bypass or any other shortcut ways. So that is the what we are using the in graph phase. We are holding off number of options, number of versions. So once you decided the in graph phase which route you need to go, that route will be loading. We are calling as a kernel. Kernel is nothing but your operating system full image. There your operating system entire image will be loaded. Whether you selected 9.10 means that operating system will be loaded over there. Then the next phase, init phase. Init phase will be, there is a 5 phases will be there again here, whether you want to shut down, start, stop, or command line, whether run level 3 or run level 5, whether you are looking for the graphical user, command line user, everything it will going to be decided. It will going to be loaded by using the run level. So this is we are calling as booting process. Hope it's clear. Any doubts here? Anyone? So now you little bit understand, right? In coming to the Windows and Linux, what is the major differences? How it will be there? Muni, మీకు అర్థమైందా? Habib, Muni, Arun.
Yes, got
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
basic
yes,
understanding.
yes, yes,
So this is
yes.
the one of the major interview question. Like that, whenever you are started with any meals, you are starting with one pickle or something, right? One sweet. Okay. So whenever the interview question someone is started, they start with this basic question. Means if you understand about the architecture, then you can understand about the futures. So that is the reason people are coming with the nature of the work. So you need to understand what is the nature of issue, nature of flow, how your operating system is loading. Okay. Hope it's clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So just go through the thing, go through the recorded video and go through the content. Okay. So tomorrow we are going to discuss about the new topic. Okay. So tomorrow we are going to discuss about the concept called user management. Okay. So there is a new topic called user management. So in detail, how the user management will be work, what is the purpose, what is the nature of the work. Okay. We are going to discuss. Okay. So thank you everyone. Hope it's clear. If you have any doubts, please you can ping me into the chat group also.